Alrighty, well, we are on, and this could potentially be the first of many episodes of Chat with Cardy. Probably not, though. Essentially, what this is going to be, I'm going to be talking out of my arsehole. I'm going to be just talking what I feel, things that I hate, things that are on my mind, stories, experiences that I've had for 45 minutes to an hour. And I thought, well, I could just get out on the more car channel. Like this channel, you could argue it's a dead channel. It still has over 1,000 subscribers, but I just don't really upload on it because really, what do I upload on it? So yeah, you know what? I'm gonna upload some stuff like this on this channel, and it's, I guess you could say it's similar to a podcast, but it's just me. Obviously, I'm not with anyone. No face cam. I'm literally doing this how I did back in the days on my bed in my bed, because back then I would actually record just stuff that I was going through, just random rubbish for an hour on my phone. I think on my phone, on my iPod Touch, on my bed, and then later on down the track I'd listen back to it, and a lot of the stuff I actually said was quite funny, but I don't know where those recordings are. So if I ever find them, potentially, might show them on like a stream or something. We'll see. But yeah, I thought, why not? Let's do another one of this. I don't know how long we're gonna go for. I really don't know who's gonna be listening to this. Like, this could, for all I know, do really shocking. But oh well, let's just do it. All right. Well, the first thing I think I might go over is something that actually happened today. And this is a strange situation. It wasn't nothing too bad, but it was just a little bit strange what happened today. So I guess I can go over what happened today, and I haven't done much. I woke up pretty late, and when I checked the time, I'm like, oh well, fuck, half the day's finished. What do I do? I looked at Google Maps because I actually want to go on more walks. I've wanted to go on more walks, considering we're still in lockdown. We can't go out of the house. I wanted to go on more walks. I looked up on Google Maps. I found there was a service station that I haven't been to. That's like a kilometre away from me. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go there. No real intention but to just go there and get maybe a drink or a pack of chips, which I did end up getting. So I'm like, you know what, let's do that. So I get there, nothing out of the ordinary happened at all. I walk in, 20 seconds into my into when I was in the shop, the clerk at the store, who's, I would say, he'd probably be my age, to be completely honest, if I'm going to be completely, like 19. He goes up to me. He was just like, "Did you find anything you want?" I literally just walked to the fridge and I open it and I'm like searching. And most people, when they're at like a convenience store or a milk bar or supermarket, when they're looking for snacks or a drink, a lot of the time they would search around, they glance for a sale or something like that. So I didn't intend to get something exclusively at the bloody petrol station. I wanted to see what was on special. Anyways, I think what I ended up getting was a chocolate milk, an oak. It was like $3. It wasn't that great. And it wasn't even a 600 ml, the carton. It was like the protein one, right? So anyway, I got that. Um, and he asked me, I had to answer him. I'm like, no, that's right. I got what I'm getting. I got a drink. I was walking up to pay, but actually, I wasn't. I was walking back up to the chip section because it was this 2 for $4 promotion. I'm like, oh well, I'll just get it. So I got that and all. I had to tell him exactly what I was getting for some reason. It was very awkward. I went to pay. You'd think, all right, that's done. Surely he doesn't ask me anything else. He just tells me how much it is and all that stuff. Tap the card. He's like, do you want a donut for $1? Now, if I fucking didn't purchase a donut, why do you think I would want it? Like, why does he think I'm gonna say yes? I don't want a donut. I didn't come here for a donut. I don't care that it's 50 cents or it's 25 cents. On a side note, I really, when I'm paying for what I want, and the person behind the cashier asks me if I want something for like $1. Like, no, I do not want a pack of Maltesers for half price at 7-Eleven. That's still overpriced. Like, you could get a good bag of Maltesers at Woolies for $3. Yet you're giving me the little box of Maltesers, the fun size box for $2, and you're saying that's half price. So piss off. So I usually just say no to that. But fair enough, they want to make a sale. I get that. You would think after he asked me if I want a donut for $1, that'd be the end of the conversation. No, he then goes on and asks me what year level I'm in. Why? Why do you need to know that? Why was it something that guy needed to know? Like, surely his day wasn't that boring that he had to get that out of me. And normally wouldn't be the worst question in the world. Like, you just answer. I was like, well, fuck me. I'm already. I don't want to talk to this guy. I just didn't. I wasn't in a talkative mood. So in order to get the conversation finished as quickly as possible, I lied and said I was in year 11. Because for anyone watching this that doesn't already know, I have finished school, so I am technically. I finished year 12 last year, but I obviously don't look like I've finished year 12, and I'll talk more on this a little bit later on. So I just thought, well, let's just lie and say I'm in year 11, because I don't look like I've finished school. The guy who asked me the question is probably younger than me, but definitely looks older than me. So I'm just like, I'm in year 11. Let's just move past this. I don't want him to question, oh, you're not finished school. On the side of who the hell, why would you lie about your age? Or like what year level you're in? Like, let's just say I ask you, oh, what year you're in, and you're and I say year 9, and you're like, oh, you're not in year 9. Why the fuck do you ask the question? Like, why would you lie about the year level that you're in? Funnily enough, though, I did lie, and I did lie, but the only reason I lied is so I can just, I don't know, so it's a little bit less awkward. But I tell you what, if I find that guy, or I see that guy again down the track in life, it'd be well awkward if he still remembers the fact that I told him I was in year 11, or if he watched my videos. I highly doubt he does. Otherwise, he'd probably ask for an autograph, which on a side note, I've never gotten an autograph or even gotten a photo taken with any subscribers before. Apparently, UCAT has already had a photo with someone, so he's one up on me. He's one up me on that, but he's also got 4 times as many 4 times. I've got 4 times, more than 4 times as many subscribers in UCAT. So in reality, who's really winning? So anyway, after I just told him I'm year 11, and he bloody continues the conversation when I've already paid. Are you in school? Now for like a microsecond, I thought when he asked me that, I'm like, I literally told you I was in year 11, which I'm not, but I told him that. So why the fuck's he asked me if I'm in school? And then I realized maybe he's asked me if we're in physical or online school, and I'm pretty sure everyone's still online, even the year 12s here in Victoria. And the funny thing is, I realised that the year 12 exams are, like the English one, apparently is end of October, like in 3 weeks. How the students haven't even gone back to school yet in year 12, at least for all I know, anyone who's actually watching this who's in year 12 can let me know if I'm wrong. But the fact that they haven't been able to go to school is mind blowing. Like, surely they get back soon, because I couldn't bear to have 4 or however long they were in lockdown, and then as soon as you go back to school, you're doing exams. Like, that would be the shittest thing ever. At least when I was in school last year, we got out of we got to go back to school after the lockdown. I'm pretty sure it was, which was after. I'm pretty sure the whole of October. It might have been a little bit. I think we went during September for a bit as well. Yeah, we did. We went for September and October because the cases were getting down a bit. But we were, yeah. So we were able to go to school for 2 months. Although it was pretty shite, it was still better than going to school rather than doing online school weeks before your exam. So I don't know if that's the case, but anyways, I sidetracked there. Yeah, that was sort of what happened at BP. It wasn't really the greatest story of all time. If anything, it was just something that I found really strange, and I was just picturing. I just had that in my head, going, why the hell did he ask me that? Well, I don't know. He was very talkative, but I hate awkward situations. I don't avoid, obviously, because if you avoided going, I was gonna say I don't avoid going and getting a haircut, because if you're gonna be avoiding doing that, then yeah, you're gonna look like Jesus, or you might have like a family member who does your hair for you, which would be a lot less awkward if I went to the hairdresser and it was someone I knew, because I could actually have a genuine conversation with them, right? But no, 99 times out of 100, the person that's cutting my hair, I've got no idea who they are, and it's very, very awkward, particularly when you're a kid, and the times when I've looked really young, which I still look pretty young, but back then I looked like I was in primary school. Like this one time when I was in Mansfield, and that was, see, if you watch the Mansfield vlog, that was during that time where I got the haircut. That was 2.5 years ago, or more than that. early 2019. And you would, if you saw that video, you would know how bloody young I looked in that video. I was going into year 11. And the person asked me what year I'm in school, and I'm like, fucking hell, like the situation at the service station. Do I lie about my age? Do I lie about my haircut, or do I tell the truth? The thing is, the haircut only just started, so if I tell the truth, it's going to be very awkward remaining 10-15 minutes. But if I lie, it might also be awkward in, what to say next. If they ask me something, I got no idea. Anyways, I did lie. I was in year 11, but I literally looked like a fetus. So I just said, pretty sure I said I was in year 8 or 9. I'm pretty sure I said one of those two year levels, just to lie. And then you would think, surely after lying about my year level that I'm in, they'd take it, or at least they would, go, oh, fair enough. No, they were surprised about my answer. They thought I was even younger than that. They were actually surprised I was still in high school. So they actually thought I was in fucking primary school, and I was in year 11. Leading into year 11, I would have been 16 that year. I still was 15 at the time, but still, that is the epitome of embarrassment. Like, that is embarrassing. Don't say anything else. That is embarrassing. So yeah, I felt pretty awkward after that. And I still had to lie about the subjects I was doing in year 9. Well, actually, no, I told the truth, but I just said that I was doing them in year 9. So a little bit awkward on that behalf. Another thing that's awkward, and it's not as... Actually, it's probably worse now, to be completely honest, is if you're going to, I don't know, like Macca's or just any shop where someone you know works there from school that you don't talk to. Let's just say a girl that you might have talked to a couple of times during school. You're not gonna, let's just say you're at the counter and she's serving you. You're not gonna you're not gonna say hello unless you know him, right? It's just gonna be way too awkward. But it's an awkward sort of experience, right? Because we obviously know each other, but we're trying to make it seem as if we don't. So the whole time I had anyone who I knew a little bit serving me, I was trying to look away for as long as possible. Like, not trying to give any eye contact to the person serving me. Very awkward stuff. And God forbid let's just say I haven't showered in 4 weeks. That's something that would probably be the case over lockdown. Like, I just don't change my clothes in 2 weeks. Haven't showered in 2 weeks, something like that. Which I'm not saying that I do. I'm just saying that if that was the case, which it's probably happened to be before in one way or another, and I decide, you know what, I want to go grab something quick to eat. Let's just go to the local, I don't know, chicken shop. I don't even know what I'm saying. And the person serving me there was the hottest girl from school, and she sees me dressed in the shittest clothes that smell like gronk, with my hair fucked. Like, I just look at my worst. Not only would that be awkward, but that would be, I don't even know what to... how... That would be doomsday. Although, it wouldn't really be as bad if it happened now, considering that I finished school, so I'm probably never going to see that person again. Whereas if it happened, in year 11 during school, I'd see her the next day. So that'd be fucking way worse. But yeah, no. It's normally not too bad. And also another time when this happened, it wasn't really an awkward situation. Well, it was awkward, but it wasn't a situation in public. It happened at school. Year 9 this was. I think it was the first or second year of year 9. It would have been first week. I know for a fact it was the first week of year 9. Or it might have been year 10. Yes. No, it was year 10. It was year 10. So we had our locker bays in the year 7 area. I don't know why, but we did. So I was walking from my locker right past the year 7 area, and the new assistant principal, who's only been there 1 or 2 days, rocks up, and he walks up to... He could have picked anyone from all the people, but he decided to pick me, and he goes up to me with a straight face and goes, "How's year 7 going, buddy?" Literally, I did not know what to say to that. I literally did not know what to say to that. I didn't really want to correct him and go, "Actually, I'm in year 10, because that would have made it really awkward, and it would have made him question his sanity and my own sanity. So I'm like, fuck it. I just went, "Oh yeah, it was good." That's all I did, and I just walked off. I just didn't know what to say to that. And I'm pretty sure I actually told a couple of people in the first class that I had about that. And it's become a mini meme with my friend group since then. They'll all know about it. If they're watching this, which I highly doubt they are, but if they are watching this, comment raspberry, or just comment something to do with the situation. Anyway, yeah, it was an awkward situation by far, because the thing is, considering that the year 10 locker bay was in the year 7 area, looked like the year 7s. Like, I'm not even exaggerating, I looked like most of the year 7s there. Like, some year 7s looked older than me when I was in year 10. And obviously, if you saw the Mexico blog, you would know, because that was around the same period. So yeah, that wasn't great, but it didn't shock me at all. I wasn't surprised when that happened, that's for sure. And another thing that I might touch over that I used to do back in the day was look for money. Now I don't need to do this anymore. There are a lot of reasons why I don't do this anymore. I guess one reason could be the fact that we're in lockdown, so I can't really go to any shops to do so. Second reason is I actually have a job in the sense that I earn money. Now, I don't actually have a job that's not YouTube, but so I'm saying YouTube is my job, which it's weird to call it your job because I don't feel like it's a job, but it is a job. It's sort of, sacrificing your time for money, and that is sort of what I'm doing on the channel. And I'm not going to say how much I earn, but I definitely earn a fair amount, right? Like a fair amount, nothing majorly or nothing special, but like a decent amount. Someone like something similar to what a mate of mine would earn part time at like a pizza shop, So not too bad, but nothing majorly. Anyway, so that's why I wouldn't do it now. Obviously, it's embarrassing, and I look a lot older than I did back when I did it. So if you saw someone, like, imagine if you saw an 18-year-old on the counters of Woolies, on their hands and knees looking under the self-service desks. Like that would be just very, very bizarre. You would have to think that the person doing that has some sort of mental illness or something, because you can't. That's not right doing that. But I did it during when was it? So it was from year 5 to around year 8, I would say, or year 4 to like year 9. Yeah, year 4 to year 9. I think I stopped at like year 10, or when I started making money, or when I just started. I sat down and just thought, this is fucked. I probably should stop doing this. But back when I was doing it, I'd actually make a decent amount of money. Now, obviously, the only way I was going to get the money was by getting it through coins. Like, I'm not going to be finding a credit card underneath the self-service section of Woolies, right, or anything like that, or in anything other than the coins. So essentially, what I did, right, when I used to find money, I used to just go under, like Woolies. Well, what are other examples? Woolies was definitely the best bloody place to do it, because literally, you'd have like 12 self-service desks, and coins would be underneath, like, dollar coins, $2 coins, I guess 50-cent coin, or any coin, but like the ones that you want to be finding are the $2 coins. Those are the best. And they'd usually be underneath the self-service desk, and they'd be quite close to the to like the floor, but like just they're like in a little bit. So let's just put it in the point of view of an old woman. She's going to get her money out, and she drops a $2 coin under the fucking under the service whatever you call it. She's not gonna bend down to pick that money up. All right, especially considering that the coin isn't even able to be seen from the floor. You've got to actually bend down, like literally put your head on the ground to see the money. So obviously she's not going to do that. Like, an old lady will not be bending down, sacrificing her very, very fragile back. That's probably going to very close to breaking. She's on a walking frame by that point. She's not going to be doing that. Or really anyone. Like, even a 30-year-old bloke, I doubt a middle-aged man would do the same thing if they dropped a $2 coin. I just feel like they just go, oh, fuck that shit, or let's just move on. Anyways, I wasn't 40. I wasn't 70-year-old woman. I was a young 11-year-old kid. Well, I stopped when I was like 14, 15, which when you think about it, that's quite embarrassing. But I looked 11, so it wasn't as bad. So yeah, I would walk away with hauls of 15, 20 bucks at times. And when you think about it, that's not too bad. Like, you could buy 5, 6 packs of footy cards with that money. And back then, I'd probably spend my money on footy cards. And I still collect footy cards to a degree, but really not as much as I did back in the days. But now it's weird because now that I actually have a lot more money than I did back then, I don't know how I was affording all the cards that I got back then in the days. Maybe I just found that much money under the desks at the Woolies. But Woolies was definitely the best place because the self-service registers, right, or whatever you call them, the kiosks, they had a little bit of a gap, so they weren't like close to the ground. There was a little bit of a gap, which means I was able to like put my hand underneath the gap, which when you look back on it, it's probably dangerous. Like there could be wires, there could be really anything underneath there where you could easily hurt yourself. But no, a lot of the time I didn't really want to do it without many people looking, because most of the time if I did it in front of a worker, she would question what the fuck I'm doing. So a lot of the times she'd either ask, did you lose something under there? And I'd have to lie and say, obviously, yes. Because if I said no, then that'd just be even weirder if I'm doing that just for the sake of it. So I say no, and then I'm like, sometimes I yell out, oh, there's the dollar that I needed to find, or something stupid like that. Literally, so the whole of the Woolworths knows that I've lost $1, which I haven't. I just stole it. Well, I didn't steal it. In fact, I don't know. People have said to me that know that I do this, that's stealing money, but I don't think that's it at all. I don't think that's stealing money. Like, a couple of times I've had situations where I've found money underneath the Woolies, right? And I get like, let's say $8 in coins, which isn't that much, but back then it was probably equivalent to like $70 nowadays. I reckon $8 in coins. For me, not in like actual monetary like currency value. Obviously, $8 in 2017 is not worth $70 now. If that was the case, then a lot of people would be rich. But yeah, it wasn't worth that much. But sometimes, not often, but a couple of times, if a worker found out, they would say that the money's theirs, that you're stealing from the store, and that they would like the money back. And I was really fucking pissed off. Obviously, I didn't express my dissatisfaction towards the worker, but in my head, I would really be upset. In fact, I think I cried a couple times, particularly when I get big doses of money, and I get all the money, and I have to give it back. And one time, there was some scum at the Southern Cross Station Woolworths, where I found, I think, $15. I was really hyped, right, that I got the money. I was going to go to the newsagent and get 5 packs of footy cards. The cunt security guard, like, have you noticed at that Woolies that they have a security guard outside the Woolworths? Why have a security guard outside of Woolworths? It's a Woolworths. What are they going to stop? A man from stealing a pack of gum? Like, I don't really know why that's needed. And it's usually not just the one guy. There's 2 guys heavily armed. Well, not heavily armed. They don't have guns. But, like, just standing outside the store, most of the time doing absolutely nothing. Like, literally, they're just standing there doing absolutely nothing because they're not needed. I don't see why they'd be needed. Why, if there are going to be security guards at that Woolies, why are there not security guards at all Woolies? Or at least any Woolies that's not that one that I've seen. Really weird. So that bastard, other than, what am I saying? Bloody, rather than the workers at Woolies, which I could potentially see, I could understand where they're coming from, he fucking asked for the money. He's like, no, that's the store's money. You've got to give it back to me, kid. It's not yours. You're stealing. I reckon what that guy did with the money, rather than give it to the store or put it back in the cash register of the store, he pocketed the money because none of the workers could see him doing that. He obviously pocketed that money. So he was technically stealing candy from a baby. Although in this say, it could be stealing money from a kid, which I don't know if it's stealing in the first. I don't think it's not stealing because it's really not their money. They were never going to get that money. I don't think they would see that money again unless they do a whole renovation of the store and they decide to move the self-service kiosks. Then obviously they'll look underneath to see all the gunk and shit underneath the counters or whatever the I don't even know what the word is at the kiosk. You know what I'm talking about, Rob, and I just don't know what I'm saying. And then they see all the gunk, the rubbish, and then they see a couple of $2 coins underneath there. I'm sure, right, they'll pocket it themselves. They were never going to invest it back into the store, obviously. I guess you could argue that's a tip for their services, even though works at Woolies don't get a tip. But it's not just Woolies that I can find money, and I'm just trying to think of the other stores. Big W is another one with this. It's usually the self-service kiosks where I'm able to actually get any money at all, because they've got to have a gap underneath the sort of the register, the place where you actually put in coins, because a lot of the time someone could drop a coin and it just bounces underneath the gap, and then you're not going to get that back. Coles is shit because the gap's closed off, so I can't even put my hand underneath there. So it's sort of irrelevant. But no, yeah, those were the times. Like literally every time we'd go to a shopping centre, I would literally, rather than go to shops to look for clothes or even toys, games, anything, video games, I would go to shops to look for money. And I'd usually walk away with a fair amount of money. Like, I'm no jokes. I usually walk away with a fair amount. By fair amount, it's fair amounts in terms of gold coins, like $10 or something like that, which isn't too bad. Yeah, not too bad. So I guess you could say that was my job. Well, no, it's not a job, but I guess if you could call it a job, it was a job, because I think on one month my best that I earned was $180. So I found $180 in 1 month. That was January of 2017, which isn't too bad at all. But yeah, I'm past. I've passed doing that, and I don't do it anymore. The only times where I would do that, and I still do that, is if there are vending machines, or I just put my hand in the slot, because that's not like, I'm sure there are people watching this that do that. And I've found my fair share of dollar coins in that before, which is, you'll take it. It's nothing special, but it's like you'll take it. Yeah, I've only ever found a $50 note twice. The first time I found it was in Chadstone. I just found it outside of a BWS, or like it was a Liquorland. It was a Liquorland. Right outside, there was just a $50 note on the floor, and it easily could have been someone's or it was definitely not mine, but it could have been someone's who were in the store at the time. But I'm not gonna fucking give it to them. I'm not gonna stand there and go, "Is this $50 yours, mate?" Because obviously, if I had a $50 note and I go up to a random person and ask him, "Did you drop this $50 note, mate?" Obviously, they're going to say they did, even if they didn't, because who was not going to pass up on a $50 note? No one's going to do that. So obviously, that'd be stupid. So I just pocketed it, and I was very, very happy that day, because back then, I think I was 12 at the time. If money is very scarce, like back when you're a child, you don't get money. Like where are you going to get money from? Pocket money? You get like $5 a week. You get fuck all from pocket money. So when you get $50 out of nothing, you're gonna take it, and I definitely did. And then more recently, this was like a few months ago. This was I'm not gonna go into the full story. I was going on a walk right in the morning. I actually think I mentioned in one of my weekly vlogs, and I just saw a $50 note on the ground. So I'm like, Jesus, I'll take it. So I just pocketed it, obviously. And I actually still have the note, because I have not used cash for a long time. Like all I've used is my card. So I guess that would sort of suck for me nowadays if I wanted to find money, because less and less people are using cash, more people are using card, obviously. And I wouldn't be surprised if eventually one day we go cashless, which we probably will eventually go cashless, because I don't know. Cash is becoming used a lot less than what it was used before. We're on the 30-minute mark, but I think I might cut a couple things down. I know you're supposed to edit podcasts, but this isn't a podcast, and I've said a few stupid things that I might have to cut down, so it's probably a little bit less than 25 or 30 minutes that I did say. But yeah, that was finding money. I don't know if I was the only person to do that, because I know that I actually inspired a couple of people. I'm pretty sure my sister's brother still does that. And he'd probably be in year 8 or year 9. No, not my sister's brother. What am I saying? My sister's friend's brother. He'd be in maybe year 7, year 8 now, but at the time he was in year 2 or 3 or year 4. Apparently he was doing it. And a couple of other people I've apparently inspired, which is a little bit weird to think about. I remember my German cousin in he came over, I think 2016 for Christmas, and we were at the airport picking him up, And the weirdest thing happened. He looked under the service. I told him about how you could find money and shit like that. He looked under the fucking counter at Sushi. Just such a weird place to be doing it. And he found they get like a tube of coins. It was like 50 10-cent coins in this tube, like wrap tube, like especially wrap tube that wasn't unopened. I don't know what the word for it is, and I don't really care about finding what the word for it is. So at 10 cents, 50 of them, they equate to $5. So when you think about it, it's basically nothing. But at the time, he was very excited because obviously if you're going to be going to a foreign country and you find a tube of 50 coins as like an 8-year-old, you're going to think you're rich. And he obviously thought he was rich. And I told him that because I knew that it wasn't that much. I would have been happy if I found it myself at the time, but I knew it wasn't that much. But I wanted to make him feel somewhat decent about his finding. So I told him that they were $10 coins. And then he made $500. And he probably still believes it to this day, which is I thought was a little bit funny. But also something cool. Considering that he found a tube of 10-cent coins. And I actually haven't found a tube of coins yet in my life. And I probably never will because I'm not going to be doing that again. Next thing I'll quickly go over might be more than just quickly, but things I hated at school. Now, whenever I used to do these sort of, I'm not going to call them podcasts. I don't really know what to call them, but these audio messages where I just chat shit. A lot of the time I would refer to school and how much I hated it. Now, considering this is going to be public on YouTube, I don't think it's a good idea to mention names, because as much as I don't think any of them are going to watch this, it'd be better off if I don't mention names. I'm not going to mention names. Obviously, I'm not going to mention the school, but I'll mention the shit that I hated at school. One of the things that I didn't like very much was the uniform. Now, obviously, all schools, or most schools in Australia have uniforms. I don't know if there are many high schools, particularly, that don't have a uniform. Now, I see why they want to have a uniform. They want to look good. Like, I know the reason for it. I'm not too much against uniform in itself. Like, that's fine. If you want me to wear a shirt and shorts and a tie is really annoying, but it's fine. Like, I can wear a tie over the winter, although I still don't know how to tie a tie. Like, I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one who's done this, where I just get like my mum to tie my tie, and then literally I don't untie it. I just, pull the back of the tie down a little bit, so I don't fully loosen it all up. So it's still in the tie shape, but it's not like fucked, so I can still wear it. The only times where I would have to re-tie the tie or get someone else to do it were if I'm playing sport outside, or like at recess lunch, or some dickhead decides to unpull my tie, which you're gonna get. Then I've got to try and get someone else to tie my tie up again, because I still just never got round to it. And then recently, like for the last 2 years, I didn't wear a tie once, because over winter I'll just wear a bloody jumper over the top of it, and I'd hide the tie. And what are they going to do? They're not going to tell me to zip down the jumper, because I've got like a jumper that covers my tie. How the fuck are they going to know? So I just decided not to bother. I don't even think I had my tie. I think I lost it. But that was a little bit annoying, but not the worst. One that really pissed me off was tucking your shirt. Apparently that was a thing over winter, that you had to tuck your shirt in. So every time, and no one followed it. Not a single person probably stuck to that rule. And it was a rule it's still probably a rule. I don't know now, considering I'm not at the school. But essentially, I think over winter, if you were wearing a shirt, long sleeve, short sleeve, regardless, and it was exposed, you had to tuck it in. Now, I don't give a fuck what you want to say, but you look like the absolute biggest dork if you had your shirt tucked in at school. So no one did it. Literally, you'd find maybe 1 in every 30 people would have tucked their shirts in. And the only people who would do it are the study nerds. Literally, the only people who did that were the study words, the bookworms. So no one else did it. And if you ever find a teacher that's like standing on one side of the hallway or whatever, and he's like, "Oh, tuck your shirt in," you tuck your shirt in, right, because he's watching. But as soon as you turn right, you turn a corner where he can no longer see you. Everyone untucks their shirt, because it's so uncomfortable. No one's going to be doing it. So that's why I think as well I just wore the jumper over the top, so I didn't have to worry about it, because obviously I'm not going to tuck it in, right? But if you wear a jumper over the top of the shirt where they don't see the shirt, fuck, they're not going to tell me what to do. They can't, really. And if they do, then they've got some serious problems. Another thing as well, we had this thing called spray jackets, which is sort of like rain jackets, right? And a lot of the time, they'd be worn inside because it'd be really cold, and it's like an extra layer. You've got your shirt. A lot of people wear like an undershirt. I don't really see the point in wearing an undershirt. I never wore one really, but anyways. So let's just say they had an undershirt, so they'd have 4 layers. So a shirt, undershirt, then a jumper, and then that rain jacket, just for, added layers of warmth. Because some of the times the classrooms we were in during the winter were the fucking shittest. We had this one classroom, which was in the top. So we had this building where there were 2 stories, and it was always the shittest to have this classroom, especially for English, because that was the shittest. I hated English with a passion, and that was an English classroom. It was a shite classroom in itself, but it didn't have a heater, so you would get 7-degree mornings, 6-degree mornings, and I'd never wear pants during school at school. I don't really know why, but I just never wear pants, and most people wouldn't wear pants. They just wear shorts. I don't know if it's to show that you're not a pussy, or if it's just because, I don't know, you just enjoy wearing shorts more, if it's because you get hot in them, or like you like running around in shorts and all. I don't know, because definitely the reason wouldn't have been for me to show out my muscly legs, because I had the skinniest legs going around. I still do. Not obviously, but I still do, and you guys probably know that I'm not very strong, right? But they were just shite. Like, I was shivering. I couldn't do any of my work. I was literally shivering in my seat. And the seats were fucking shocking as well. They were like hard metal seats where, because there was no padding on those seats, I couldn't warm myself up at all after sitting on those seats. It just make it worse. So yeah, that sucked. And what was I talking about? Yeah, rain jackets. Apparently there's a rule that you weren't allowed to wear the rain jackets inside. Like, what the fuck? That is so stupid, because they're not like it's a rain jacket that isn't part of school uniform. It's literally part of school uniform. So they're now complaining over school uniform being worn in the classroom. Like, that's stupid. That's another level of just stupidness. The fact that you're not even allowed to wear a rain jacket inside. I don't know if this is the same rule in other schools. Let me know in the comments, I guess, if you've made it up to this part of the, video. But I just thought that was the most stupid thing. And another thing as well, logo socks. Apparently that was a thing. You just weren't allowed to wear logo socks. Who the fuck cares? Like, I guess for the students' behalf, just go to Big W and buy a 6-pack of socks and just get it over and done with. Just don't bother. But for the teacher's sake, or for whoever set that rule out, why do you fucking care? Like, do you have like a sponsor with a certain brand of sock? Do you have a sponsor with Bonds or something? So if anyone's wearing a Nike sock that goes against their sponsorship deal, I don't know. I don't have no idea what the point of that was. Apparently they said it was unprofessional, but I'm sure. Now I guess you could see the reasoning. Like, I'm pretty sure you wouldn't wear Nike socks to a wedding, but you'd have long pants, so you wouldn't be able to see the socks. So I wouldn't say that any real situation where that would be an issue, wearing logo socks. So anyone who would wear logo socks would have to meet, I think, the coordinator at lunchtime, and they'd literally just write lines for the whole lunchtime. It was just stupid. And literally one-time offenders could get away with it. Like, literally someone who probably had no idea about the rule, who moved from Germany and only got to the school on the first day, would have probably had to write lines. Or in UCAT's sake, or I should say writer's sake, do lines. Which, yeah, it just didn't make much sense at all, the fact that you had to wear logo socks. Fucking bloody wouldn't be surprised if they go out with a rule where you can't have logo underwear. So they have to, every morning before school starts, strip down your pants, and they'd look to see if you've got if you've got a Nike branded underwear, which I don't even think that's a thing, but if it is a thing, you got to be writing lines in that regard, which I just didn't understand. And it made it very ironic as well, because I remember when I went to Rebel Sport, they had back to school, right? A back to school section, and one of the back to school sections was socks. So we have Rebel Sport promoting socks as a back to school attire. Yet if you would wear those socks with a Nike logo at my school, you'd get punished for it. So, God forbid my mum went to Rebel Sport and saw those socks were on half price and go, oh, these would be great for Pat to wear at school. No, they fucking wouldn't, because I'd be fucked if I did that. So yeah, that is a little bit ironic, the fact that Nike thought that was a good idea, but knowing that, Nike probably didn't think that would be a law or a rule that you can't wear logo socks. Because in primary school was good. Obviously, you could wear whatever socks you want. I got away with wearing this green jumper. I think it was an Under Armour jumper or whatever. That was obviously not a school jumper. I got away with wearing it a whole year. I don't know how. Like, back in year 5 in primary school, I was the most popular kid in class. Well, actually, not year 5, year 6. For the first 4 months, I was literally the class clown. That was like my highest I was ever in terms of popularity. I was one of the most popular kids in the fucking class. Then, as soon as I moved to my new school, I was downgraded to the absolute loser group. Like, I was in the nerdy, dorky, geeky group, and I didn't want to be in the geeky group. I wanted to be in the sporty group, right? And I'd sort of try and fit in, but it'd just be hard when I moved school and all the geeks just swore me, wanting me to be their friend, and I just had no idea how to get out of that. So, and in high school, I wouldn't say I was popular, but I would not say one thing: popularity is the most irrelevant thing. Like, all the popular girls and all that shit and guys in school now, that popularity is going to mean nothing. They're not going to put it on their resume going, I was the 4th most popular girl in year 10. Why do I have that accent? I was the 4th most popular girl in year 10. And I just feel like that's going to get me a long way into getting my job as a hairdresser or whatever. Like, fuck off. Popularity means absolutely nothing. Like, most of the people who are considered losers probably have better jobs than those people then. Well, I guess not yet, considering most of them will probably still be at uni. But anyways, well, they would be. I mean, it's the first year. I don't know what I'm talking about. I literally don't. All I'm saying is popularity is useless. But I guess if you're still in school at the moment, you'd rather be popular, I guess, than not. Or it just feels better, right? So, the only time popularity matters, I guess you could say, at school. But at the same time, it doesn't matter, really. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all, really. So, yeah, I went over the uniforms at school, which I thought was shit. What else is shit at school? Well, I just think a shit rule in itself is no phones. I don't like it. I don't like no phones, and I think everyone would hate the no phone rule. I can see why, though. Obviously, you can't have phones in class. You'd be easily getting distracted. I feel like, probably due to the fact that we weren't allowed phones during school, I'd get much more work done, like a lot more work done, because I wouldn't have any of the distractions on my phone. Whereas on online school, they can't control whether or not you have logo socks or a wind sheeter. You can obviously wear free dress bloody in online. Like, if anyone actually had to wear school uniform on online school, I feel very sorry for you. But, if you wanted to, you could just go on your phone all class. And that's what I did for a lot of the time. Like, particularly in really boring periods where the teacher would just talk for fucking hours on end. I'd just scroll through Insta. I'd be watching YouTube videos. I'd be literally... Well, I wouldn't be... I wouldn't be jacking off, but literally anything other than that, I would be doing on my phone, because, I mean, they're not going to control, I'm not going to monitor, and even if you have to have your camera on, you can still scroll through your phone with your camera on. Just don't make it seem so obvious. So I guess that's why online school is shit, because in hindsight, when online school was first proposed, I thought it was going to be great. I thought, wow, don't have to wake up early to get ready for school. I could wear whatever I want. I could do it in bed for all I want to. I could watch YouTube whilst doing it. I could listen to music whilst doing it. Because that's another thing. They banned being able to listen to music at school. That was a thing back in like year 7 and 8 for my school, where you could just listen to music whilst doing your work. And I absolutely loved that. Because it meant that I didn't have any cunt kids distracting me. I could just sit in my own corner, put my headphones in, listen to whatever I want whilst doing my work. It was great. I'd get it done very quickly. But... on the contrary, for whatever reason, some fucking genius thought it was a great idea to ban that as a rule. I don't know why, because all it's going to cause is more distractions in class and more chaos, more rubbish. yeah, it was a really dumb rule. But a few people were able to like sort of get their ways out of it and still be able to listen to music in school. Like there'd be the kid who grow their hair really long, so they cover their ear pods in their ears. You'd have a few people doing that. I obviously, or the AirPods, I should say, not ear pods. But I obviously don't own AirPods, and I don't have that. I don't own AirPods though, so I really couldn't do that. And I feel like if that's the reason you're going to be growing your hair long just to wear AirPods in class, then that's like you got to reevaluate your life choices. I'd feel like. As I just checked Instagram, Cherry is now officially a blue. Not really surprising though. But yeah, that was annoying. The fact that we couldn't listen to music, but I guess in online school you can. They're not going to control whether or not you're able to listen to music. But online school was just rubbish. It just I thought it was going to be a good thing. Like again, no distractions without the classmates, but your phone is 50 times more of a distraction than your classmates. Like they can be dickheads, right? But eventually the teachers will tell them to leave, or if you want them to fuck off, they'll probably fuck off. Like I mean, whilst your phone, that's the biggest distraction of them all. So that's why you barely get any work done in online, and you sort of just catching up. You really are. Like no one is caught up at school at the moment if they're doing it online. Like very few people are. So I liked it for a little bit, and then I thought it was shit. And it's a ton more. It's much shitter in uni as well, which is something that I'm definitely not doing amazing in. I can tell that for a fact. But yeah, that's something that I thought I'd point out there. And then there are so many more things I could talk about. In fact, I might as well just finish this episode talking about shit things that have happened in school or shit rules. Okay, I'll give the phone one a pass. It sucked. But I feel like during recess and lunch, you should be able to go on your phone if you want to. I don't see the issue in that. Like, if it's your free time, why not? Why shouldn't you be able to go on your phone? Like, is it because they don't want you recording teachers or the school? Then you can have that as a rule. No recording in school grounds. But if you want to, like, message someone, like, literally, I'd got in trouble once for messaging my mum. Because how the fuck else am I going to ask her to pick me up at school, right, if I can't use my phone? So, what the school's telling us, right, is, you got to put your phones in your bag and you can't touch it from 8:55 to 3:15. But most people, if not all, had their phones in their pockets, and most would have at least checked their phone once or twice during school, whether it's the old putting the phone as a case in the calculator trick, or having your phone in front of your laptop trick, or just sitting at the behind the classroom and just, doing that. And there are some occasions when you've got a good teacher who wouldn't give a fuck if you use your phone unless you're not distracting the class. But there are other occasions that even if you touch your phone, he takes it away for the rest of the day, which fucking cunt. Like, when you get that teacher, you probably might as well just not bother with your phone during that class. Which is, something different. But I've had my phone taken away from me a few times actually, and it's annoying because it's like one of the times it happened. One of my mates told me, "Oh, quickly check something on your phone." I do it, and out of the corner, literally as soon as I whip it out, the coordinator walks past the hallway and sees it and goes, "Oh, thank you very much. I'll be having that." I'm like, "Fuck off." Because not only is it just annoying the fact that I now can't have my phone during the rest of the day, so if I wanted to check anything, I can't. Because, sometimes I check, like, the group chat when I was during school, or just, things on my phone. But I wouldn't be able to do that with him taking it. But the thing that's worse than that is that I'd have to stay back after school to get the phone, which means I'll have to stay longer at school. And the coordinator, I'd have to wait at least 15, 20 minutes at all stages for me to get my phone back, because he's always in a meeting, or he's always running. He's just always doing something else, which is just really shit. And I remember one time, why the hell's my dog scratching to get in my room? Joey, what are you doing? Joey. Oh wait, no, it's not my dog. That's my rabbit. Well, I'll ignore that. I don't know if you can hear that. The mic's probably picking it up. Yeah, another time, and then I'll name I'll not really shame him, but I'll name the person who did this, and it's Dylan Brown. But I won't give him shit or anything. I'm not giving him shit, but it's something that happened that I thought I'd say. So this was in a geography class. For whatever reason, my phone, when the class finishes, at the end of the class, after the class ended, I checked to see where my phone is, and I didn't know where it was. I thought, fuck, I think I've actually lost my phone. I stayed back after school for 30 to 40 minutes, trying literally everywhere I could to look for my phone. I asked the office, I asked the teachers, I even asked the teachers for a key to get back in the classroom. It wasn't there. I'm thinking to myself, well, what the fuck? Where the hell is my phone? And the thing that really sucked is because that was the night, or that was the day where I was going to edit my footy golf video. Because back then I filmed all my videos on my phone, so all my footage for that video was on that phone, and I didn't know where my phone was. So I thought, well, this is shit. Not only can I not get that footy golf video out, but I can't do anything with it. I eventually later realized when we did find my iPhone that my dad decided to try out that it was in Dylan Brown's house. So Dill Banger, for whatever reason, had my phone. I don't know how. I assume it was a mistake, but he had my phone, and I had to obviously go to his house and pick it up from him. So it was a very strange outcome to that one, but at least I got my phone back, and I still actually have that phone to this day. I do want a new one. I have the iPhone 8 still, but I've had this phone for over 3 years. I feel like after 3 years, a phone, you'd probably want to upgrade it. I just feel like that's what Apple do with their phones. They make it so after a couple of years, the phone starts deteriorating to make it so that you have to buy a new one. Because how else are they going to make their money, right? Like, if they wanted to, they easily could make it so that the phone lasts 10, 15 years if they wanted to. But they're just not going to do that because they're not going to get as many sales, are they? The scumbags at Apple. But that's that. What else did I hate about school? Well, there are many things I didn't like about school. I liked how strict some of the teachers were and all that sort of shit. Like, apparently there's a rule that you weren't allowed to go to the Oval unless you were playing sport. I don't really see that as a problem. Like, I know there are kids, there are going to be the drug addicts, and there are druggos at the school. We know them as the druggos, where they go to the Oval and they smoke, they do meth for all we know. I don't know what they actually do, but they go there not for a good reason. They go there to do wrong. But most of the time I do go to the Oval, which is mainly every lunch. I play sport. I play soccer. If you ever watch the GoPro soccer, that's what I'd be doing. So I don't really know why that's a rule, because a lot of the times people are just sitting around the outsides of the Oval, or the middle of the Oval, because no one plays footy on the Oval. It's the shittest footy ground you'll ever see. It's only used for soccer, really. And sometimes they'd be told to leave because they weren't playing sports. Like, why the fuck does it matter? It's just a group of girls. Literally, it was just a group of girls in my year level sitting around eating lunch, just talking. How the fuck is that something that you're not allowed to do? Why is that a rule that you can't be there? Now, I'm pretty sure that either rule got lifted or at least got very much, they just decide to, all that the rule decided to get neglected, which is a good thing, because I don't really know why that was a thing, but it was a thing at a stage, I'm almost certain, which was dumb, but I guess it didn't really affect me. Obviously, it affected the Dragos, but obviously that'd be a rule, like you don't do meth during class. Like, I guess, like, the teacher should be doing that, really. Don't do meth during class. I mean, before class, after class, it's up to you, but during class, no meth, kiddos. Yeah, there were a few Dragos at the school. You're just gonna get them. You get them at every school. Back in year 8 or 9, when me and my mates would walk home from the walk. This is when I actually took the train to school. Or from school. We'd be walking towards the train station, and there'd be a drug hole. So every so often, someone would have the nerves to walk in that hole. One time there was a whole heap of people doing I don't know what out of a bottle, and we were fucking chased. We actually had to run out of there because the guy was like, "Get the fuck out of here!" Like, it was Yeah, it wasn't great, and I remember I recorded that, but I don't have it on my. I should have kept the video because that would have been really funny if I look back on it. But yeah, that was the infamous Drago Hole at school, and there was another time as well at school during assembly where someone got like in some pretty big shit with the teachers. Like the teachers weren't happy. Apparently, so the teachers were like talking about, oh, there was some incident outside the school fields. They always say that, like, oh, there's an incident outside the school grounds. Someone's responsible for this. Essentially, what happened was a girl got hit by a cyclist. I don't know who it was. I don't know if it was a girl in the school or if it was a little girl. I don't know. But all I know is that a girl got probably badly hurt from a cyclist, and someone he's a bit of a smartass, to be completely. He's funny, but he's one of the stereotypical cockheads in the class. He was like, "Oh my god, is the bike all right?" So the whole fucking like everyone pissed themselves. It was funny. Like at the time, it was a funny thing to say. Like you just wasn't expecting that to be said after what was said beforehand. It didn't. Yeah, the teacher didn't take it the same way, and I don't know what happened, but I think he got into some decent trouble. Which I was just remembering that in the back of my mind, saying that's actually something that I thought was quite funny. But yeah, when I look back on it, year 7 and like year 8 and 9, some of the dickheads you'd have in class just fucking up your class. Like you just couldn't be able to get any work done. Every 20 seconds would be a distraction. Back when D's nuts was a thing, every time the teacher, like the French teacher we had, every time a classman would put up a hand up and go D's, and they'd fall for it. The teacher would fall for it numerous amount of times, which I sort of feel bad now, but at the time I just thought it was funny. I was the sort of person who didn't really pull any jokes. I was just sort of laughing, the quiet kid, you could say, the reactor. Yeah, I've got more shit to say on school, to be fair. Like, a lot of this stuff I'm just thinking up on the spot, which is sort of why, I haven't been talking as fluently as I probably could be, because I'm literally just grabbing this information out of my ass. But on the OBS, we are almost an hour in. I'll probably cut down a little bit of this so it's not as long. But I guess, yeah, that's it. If you want to maybe see another one of these, I don't know, like, I'm all up for doing one of these maybe every couple of weeks. If anything over the last 2 weeks have happened, I would talk about it, right? Obviously, I don't want to be, as I said earlier, I'm not going to reveal anyone's name if they don't want to, because it's just, I feel like you could either get into trouble, or I don't want to breach privacy for anyone who might get mad, which I doubt many would, but there could be the few that do. So, as I said earlier, if you're watching this and you did go to my school, which I highly, highly doubt you did. But if you did, comment down raspberry in the chat. But if not, I'll wrap things up. Yeah, let me know if you want to see another one of these on the More Cardman channel. And let me actually, not just that, but let me know what else you want to see on this channel, because during the off season, I probably have more time to make more videos on this channel, but I don't really see the point, considering that I've got a channel with 14 times as many subscribers. So, it just doesn't seem like it would be much point in doing so. But anyways, I'll see you soon, probably on the Cardman 22 channel. Yeah, that's all I got to say. That's it.